Hello, Happy New Year. So excited to be part of the Perry 10K, and I know Barry's got like 1 minute here. So I am just going to wait for some people to come on. Happy New Year. Hello, hello. Gravefinder, hi, how are you? Hi Sage, how are you? Thank you for inviting followers. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. I'm so excited. The new year was so fun. It was so, hello. It was so fun to have some time off and like recoup and just really tap into like just lots of really good energy. I came back full on energized. Thank you so much for inviting followers. I so appreciate that. I'm so excited to be talking about this topic. It is 3:30 here in beautiful Chicago, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so today we're doing the topic of, are you busy trying to be busy? And how many of us can relate to this? I can. So what I want to talk about today, I think, and something that I don't believe hasn't been mentioned yet, is sort of the why, as to why we are so, why we get sort of wrapped up in this whole idea of busyness. I want to give a little bit of a different take on it. I am the pattern girl for those of you guys who don't know me, and I love looking at patterns. So part of what I would say is a big part of the why, and why we have a tendency to want to be busy, is this pattern of looking for value outside of ourselves, right? So we get trained from a really young age to identify with our careers and like with what we're doing and just the activities, right? I mean, it's like even when we're in school, we're going, okay, like our teachers are like, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? And then we go out into the world, and most of our conversations are started with the question, what do you do, right? So this is like, it's a really, thanks so much for sharing, Stephanie. I really appreciate it. So glad to have everyone here. Thank you so much. And so really, we get trained to kind of really be focused on our job, and that our job, our career is the biggest piece of value, right? That like we have. It's kind of like the thing that we lead with, right? And so when we are in this idea of just being busy for being busy, it's kind of like we're leading with this idea of value. We're leading with this idea of of where we're getting our value from. And so, just also noticing too, even like when we're at home too, our conditioning from our parents, right? Our conditioning from parents is definitely, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's the same thing kind of that that happens at school. So it's kind of like part of this, as we start to decondition this busyness, right? Yes, Kimberly Kohler is next. So definitely make sure that you follow her. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Tap the hearts. I really appreciate them. And thank you. Make sure you follow Kimberly Kohler. She's coming up next. And for those of you guys who don't know about Perry 10K, Perry 10K is just an awesome collaborative community of change makers that really care about each other. We're all about helping one another. We just want everybody to succeed, and that is super awesome. And so, one of the things I want to talk about is this whole, we are human beings, right? And some of you guys may have heard this before, but it's like we're human beings, and yet we are, in essence, this whole idea of being busy is around the idea of doing, right? So we are not human doings, we are human beings. And it's really all about really tapping into what we can do to kind of be the most effective. We kind of go, there's like a really common block, a really common misconception is that you have to work hard to make money, right? So we tend to kind of really, thanks, Stephanie. We tend to really get wrapped up in this idea of working hard to make a lot of money, right? But what if you could work whatever your ideal amount of time is, 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours a week, and make more money than working 60, 70, 80 hours a week? What if that was possible? I can tell you it's possible because I do it in my own life, and it's really freaking awesome, because it's really fun just to be able to tap into that and own that, right? And so really just this idea of letting go of the need to work hard, like to work hard to make money, the need to kind of keep ourselves busy for our own value. So it's like, again, you know, you look at this stuff and it's like, we just have a tendency to kind of, it's like we're proving our value every time. It's like, oh, I got another task on the list. And then I check off that task. That's definitely a definitive way to, you know, that we kind of reinforce that value point, right? And a lot of what yes, energy equals value, exactly. So, and a lot of what I focus on in all of my businesses, any of the businesses that I'm operating, is all around the 80-20 rule, right? And so for those of you guys who don't know the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 rule is all about 80% of 20%, what is it? 20% of your time going, no, 80% of your clients make up 20% of your, you want to focus on the top 20% of your clients. That's what that's what it is. Yes. So it's really all about, you know, like your top, whatever the top, so in this situation, the way I'd apply it is whatever the top tasks are that are going to make you the most money, that's what you want to focus on, right? So you really want to just make sure that you're always focusing, like, it's like we can kind of get caught up in this like task, like say for instance, you know, you were doing some tasks on social media that maybe weren't working for you, right? You know, we all kind of are trying different things, and sometimes we put things out there and it's like, oh, you know, it doesn't really, you don't get the results that you want to see. So instead, really, really figuring out what are the tasks that are going to make me the most money, and then focusing on those tasks. Yes, the top 20% of high value activities take 80% of your time. So just really, really focusing on that and recognizing that 80% of your time doesn't have to be a 40-hour, 60-hour work week. It can definitely just be, you know, 20 hours, 30 hours, whatever your ideal work week is. So that's so super important. The other thing that I really want to focus on is, you know, so we do tend to, like, a lot of times identify ourselves to get our value from our career, right? You know, so whether it's noticing within you what piece of that gives you value, right? Is it your title? Is it how much money you make? Is it what company you're working for? Whatever it is, just really noticing that, taking stock in it, so that you can, you know, if you desire to, start to really shift that, so you can really actually focus on the thing that matters most versus it's like, you know, really, I mean, for me, it's all about the lifestyle that I have, right? You know, it's like I want to have that lifestyle where I'm happy and I'm doing well and I'm just really enjoying myself. I'm really in the excitement. Yeah, 74% of the statistics represent 3/4 of all statistics, okay? And Kimberly is going to be coming up next. We've got about 3 more minutes. But so make sure you guys are following Kimberly Kohler. Please put up some emojis, Kimberly. But just really becoming aware of that. And so just looking at this pattern, looking at like how we, you know, look for value outside of ourselves, how do we begin to shift this? Well, one really big thing of it is just having the awareness around it, right? So just really having that awareness, recognizing it, knowing it, just having that awareness of like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Why am I doing this task? Am I doing this task because it's actually truly valuable to my business, truly valuable to my life? Or am I doing this task just to feel busy, just to think, you know, to kind of, to get that busy feeling, right? So just really noticing that is really important. And then another piece of that too is like when you're getting wrapped up in that busyness is just to take some nice deep breaths, right? So just breathing and just recognizing it's like, I could, like, allowing yourself to be in the present, right? Just allowing yourself to be in that present moment, allowing yourself to be relaxed, allowing yourself to just really enjoy that space, enjoy that time. Another thing that I would say to that is just, you know, with the busyness, it's like really setting some healthy boundaries for yourself. So yes, enjoy the moment. Yes, absolutely. So just really setting some healthy boundaries for yourself on like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, how much time am I going to set? How much time am I going to set aside for this? Like, is this a valuable activity to me? Is this going to make me money? Is this going to is this going to be really effective for me to do, or is this just something I'm doing just to kind of pass the time? And then just really noticing that. And two, like with time management with Facebook, you can always like if you like to go on Facebook and you find yourself kind of getting drawn in, like Barry was saying, I forgot the exact quote that he had up on the screen, but it's a really fun quote. It's just like noticing that, and actually you could schedule Facebook time in. So it's like if you like to go on Facebook, but you find yourself kind of just then ending up spending 2 hours the whole day on Facebook, set aside an hour a day for specific Facebook time so that you can go back to the tasks at hand and get what you need done, but yet you're not denying yourself that so that you end up like wanting to go on all day. I find myself switching between browsers. Yeah, so like, you can close out all your browsers. I believe there's a way to kind of hide all that stuff too, so that you only have one thing up, and you can always be in full screen too. So like I just find always kind of just if I find like I'm pretty focused individual, but I find like if I do want to kind of go in that direction, allowing myself to have that, setting a time limit around it, and then just saying like at this point I'm going to start working, I find that so helpful. So Kimberly is going to be going live, so make sure that you're following her. She should be live any minute now. Yes, thank you, Stephanie. She's she should be live in just a minute here or two. And then the other thing that I'll just bring up is just really just noticing how you're filling your day, right? Like, and getting, like, just I want to bring up the point that we get to choose. Oh, thank you, Barry. Thank you. So this last point, that we just get to choose how we spend our time, right? We get a choice in everything. Cindy mentioned about, watching our language and being aware of our language, but it's like we get a choice for everything, and just noticing that, and noticing that you get a choice to choose if you want to be busy for the purpose of being busy, or if you want to actually just use your time effectively and have more fun. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you. Now go ahead and watch Kimberly Kohler.